welcome in. It is Tuesday, January 13th. We're 90 days out from April 13th. Your DTD2 today. You are, or this week for that matter, you're calling your B's and your E's. You're texting your S's. And you can do that today. We have Fight Club every morning after the quick start. You can go into KWFightClub.com. Fighting your limiting beliefs to talk to the people that you know and love and trust and build your business. You can do that at KWFightClub.com. Cameras on. Microphones off, and we're just doing whatever we need to do to create more interaction so we have the business that we want. We have Vasha, our coach for Bold. She is here. She's patiently waiting for me to stop talking so I can ask her questions about the opportunity coming up in February. So we're excited to have her, and we'll get to that in just a second. Also today at 11 o'clock, and all of this stuff is in the morning news. Just click the links. It will pull you right to where you need to go. There's a Zoom link for the Wealthy Agent webinar. Our regional operating principal, Matthew Erdman, runs that conversation every Tuesday. You're building all this wealth. What are you doing with it? Because you can make a lot of money and you can lose a lot of money or not pay attention to it or not manage it or not invest it. So that conversation's every Tuesday to make sure that all the opportunity that you're building for your families gets insulated and taken care of moving forward. At 1 o'clock, we do the midday protocol. You can join me at timsoffice.com. We have the conversation about the lead indicators of our business, your conversations or interactions. How many of those have you had in the last 24 hours? Then we talk about appointments set. Then we talk about contracts signed. If we're keeping an eye on those numbers, we're going to know where we are. That's our pipeline. I think James Shaw said it 2 days ago. Do you have a pile of leads or a pipeline of leads? And I think that makes sense. It can either be a hot mess, which is good that you have a hot mess. We just need to neaten up that hot mess so we have a plan. Because anxiety only exists where there's lack of a plan. So my wife says when she looks at my side of the bedroom. Anyway, it's a mess. I'm very messy. It is what it is. You'll understand, Vasha. Soon enough, you'll understand. You'll tolerate me for the 6 weeks that you have to tolerate me. After we do the midday protocol, you can jump into main essential forms. That's at 1:30. That's at kellertv.com. You can do that just by clicking the link in the morning news. And then today at 2:30, you've got a chance to grab 2 CEUs in New Hampshire, here in Portsmouth in person. We're doing oil heat. So if you want to learn more about oil heat and get a couple of CEUs so you can build up all the points that you need to renew your license, you can do that here in Portsmouth in person only. So we do have Vasha Chevalier, which I ruined her name earlier when we first met. I was making up versions of it. And I was trying to be honest with you. My wife's name is Janina, which has been, everybody's like, that's beautiful. How do you say it? How do you spell it? And I'm like, carefully, because when you have a name that everybody assumes they know how to say, I'm sure there's challenges. So I apologize. I go by Timothy, by the way. The pronunciation, it's a hard O or a soft O. I don't even know. I'm just going to shut up now. You are going to join us. Thank goodness, because we need all the help we can get here at 463. You're going to be joining us in February to kick off with step 1 of Bold. And that's going to drag out. I think we're doing a special thing with our Gap Week because we have family reunion. Then in our part of the country, we do have some holidays coming up, and of course, some school breaks. So we're going to do our weeks a little bit different. But I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Got a question for you, a burning question last night. I know when we had our first conversation, you celebrate your business out of both New Orleans and Houston. So
That's
are
correct.
you coming to Foxborough Sunday? Is that what's happening? Are you a Texans fan or a Saints fan? Because that's going to weigh heavily on our relationship for the next week. Go ahead.
I am both. Believe it or not, I am a diehard Texans fan. And the way I became a Saints fan, my fiance is in New Orleans and we've been together almost 11 years. And he immediately said, I'm going to convert her. And I was like, no, never going to happen. And I did a bold up there. And they are so competitive in New Orleans. So I did a bold up there and I told them, I said, if you guys sell out at step 2, I'm going to become a Saints fan and I'm going to wear a Saints jersey. And when I tell you they sold out, so I had to honor my word.
So, all right. So you still haven't answered my question. Who are you on Sunday?
On Sunday, I am a Texans fan.
Oh boy. Listen, we haven't even been on our first date and we're already breaking up. I don't like any of this. I
know.
Gasp and swoon.
Okay.
All right. We'll park football and obviously everyone's going to understand because the game's at 3:00, I believe. So by 6:30, you're either going to be my favorite Bold coach or we're just going to be business partners. I'm not sure.
Hey.
We'll see where it lands. But based on how
Yes, we
CJ Stroud
will.
was playing last night, Godspeed to you and your team. Little trouble holding on to the football. So tell us more about you. Tell us more about your journey. You're a MAPS coach, obviously a bold coach. That's why you're coming to play with us in a few weeks. And you are doing your business in both New Orleans and Houston. What was the growth mindset that settled in for you to be like, I'm going to do this in 2 zip codes nowhere near each other?
So it all started when I was young. My grandparents were entrepreneurs, and they always told me, they said, think big and go conquer the world. And so I said, you know what? Okay, I'm going to do that. So I started off prior to real estate being a business owner. So I owned a salon for 30 years. I'm a lot older than I look. And then I jumped into real estate sales. And when
Yeah,
I got
I
in,
feel like you started the salon when you were 1. So yeah,
I was in diapers.
yeah.
And so I joined real estate, started my career with Keller Williams
Mm,
17 years ago. And I knew then, I was like, this world is huge and I need to go out here and conquer it, as my grandparents said. So
yeah.
maybe about 4 years after I got my license and started here in Houston, I decided to go ahead and expand in New Orleans, Louisiana. And that's where I met my fiance. And I
Okay.
said, well, if I'm gonna be going back and forth, I
But
might
wait a
as
minute.
well
He
work.
the Texans fan?
I'm the Texans
I thought
fan.
you said earlier he was a Texans fan. I'm so
No,
geographically jacked up right now. Okay. All right.
no, he's in New Orleans. He lives in New Orleans. He's a New Orleans
Okay.
guy.
Okay. So why did New Orleans make sense to be the next city for your business to grow to?
Because if I was going to be spending time there and that was going to be my second home, my family's from Louisiana as well. And so
Oh,
I
okay.
said, if I'm
Okay.
going to be going back and forth, I can't sit here and be idle. And the great thing about being real estate sales, you can sell from anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided to get my license there, and I grew a successful team, and I've been going back and forth every week for 11 years now.
What do you drive?
Believe it or not, I fly. I
Okay.
fly. It is
Okay.
a
I was gonna
50-minute
say
flight.
because I went down. This is way off course, but you'll better understand my manic passion for college football. So I'm a BC fan, Boston College, Chestnut Hill University up here, and we traveled to SMU in Dallas 2 falls
Oh,
ago, a couple of
wow.
years ago, and my wife
Okay.
believes anything terra firma on the northern continent is a drivable game. So we drove from Portsmouth, New Hampshire, down to Dallas. We
Wow.
did a big, long, ugly road trip. Of course, we lost in the end because that's what we do. We specialize. It's the Catholic guilt. We feel like as good guests, we should probably lose on your field. So we lost in Dallas, but then on the way back, we went through New Orleans and everything, and that's a heck of a
Oh,
drive. We went through a few storms. It is beautiful
yeah.
down there, though. I truly believe as a northerner, and up here, everything's very quick, and we're very
Hmm.
crass, and we can be, we can be wonderful. As Diana Kokoska would say, we can be fascinating individuals. Um, as soon as you go below the Mason-Dixon line, I just think the Southern hospitality kicks in, things slow down, and it's a beautiful part of the country. So we're excited to have you come up here and tolerate us in the cold in New England. When's the last time you were up here?
Believe it or not, I'm constantly doing bowls somewhere between Philadelphia, Connecticut. Like
Okay.
I'm hitting states, New
Okay.
Jersey, New York,
Okay.
Connecticut.
So you have your
They
wool
even
socks
send,
ready. Okay.
yeah, so I'm
Perfect.
ready. They always send me to the cold, Michigan, Montana, you name it. So I'm ready and I'm excited. So it's been a couple of years, but I'm excited.
Well, the Southern drawl is going to help. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yes.
I mean, it's a prophet from a different land. So as soon as they hear the Southern drawl, they'll be like, okay, I'm tired of listening to Tim. I'll definitely listen to her. Um,
A funny story is when I was told early in my career, they was like, you're gonna have a tough time up north
nope,
with your accent.
nope.
And I was like, they're gonna love me. That's my mindset. And when
Yeah.
I went up north, they're like, we love your accent.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. Well, I always
Yes.
think of New Orleans when we traveled in New Orleans, like it was a few years ago, the last time family reunion was down there. But I feel like you put butter in the water down in New Orleans. Like everything has butter. Like
Everything,
your
yes.
glycemic index, as soon as the wheels hit on the
Mhm.
airplane in New Orleans, your glycemic index goes through the roof. Yes,
That's
there's
right.
butter and sugar and everything, which I'm not fighting at all. So you've only ever been with Keller?
I have, yes.
Oh, what a blessing. Myself as well. I've only ever been here. So you and I share the same. I'd love to hear your story. Like what brought you to Keller Williams?
Well, prior to this, I owned a salon,
Mm,
and my business name was In God's Hands. And I was already a real estate investor. And when the big oil and gas bust happened, and
mm.
most of my clients were with Enron and Dynacor, someone gave me the bright idea to get a real estate license. And so when I looked around and I was looking at different companies and their business models and their philosophies and beliefs, Keller Williams was God, family, and
God,
business. I
family,
was like,
business.
that's where I gotta go. It
Yeah.
it makes sense.
What's so funny is I was friends with our operating principal and owner, Nathan Dickey, who I'm sure you're familiar with. And I was
Yeah.
friends with Nathan, and our prior career was in broadcasting, and he was in
Mm.
sales. Of course he was. And as radio was burning and crashing into the cliff, and I was stepping away from radio, he's like, just come get your license. And you know, this is only now. I mean, I've been here. This is my 16th year, 2026. I got here in 2010, and when I got here, or when he spoke to me, was 2009, and I'm like, do people just do that? I'm sure you felt the same way. But to your earlier point, I had no idea about God Family Business,
Yeah.
which I sort of discovered that after I got here. I've told everybody I don't really have a sexy how I got here story. I just trusted Nate. But then I got here and everything sort of fell into place. I saw God Family Business on the wall. I'm like, okay. You know, and
Mhm.
again, we are fortunate to be privately held. We're fortunate to be able. We've said God at least 7 times since 8:30, and we're still not canceled. I love being part of that, and I also remind my agents all the time too. That first word can be whatever that means to you, faith or
That's
charity or
right.
hope, whatever that first word
Mhm.
makes sense for you. But the fact that we're an ecumenical group and we can say God in a conversation like this at our company is I know it satisfies you and it satisfies me for sure. So we're excited about that. So when do you become a bold coach? Because I've got to be honest, I understand the parameters of what you go through to put a course together, to fly up to be with us in New England. There's a lot of work on your end. When did you first attend Bold, and then when did you say, okay, now I want to run the show?
So my second year in real estate, I had to take bold. It was like you
Mm,
heard what I said, had to. And
mm,
it was because when I joined Keller Williams, I had the mindset that I was coming in and I was going to be successful. So I
mm.
walked in and I said, take me to the number one agent because I want to see what they do in production.
Yeah.
I want to see how they do
Yes.
it. And so that was a commercial guy doing 10 million. So I said, give me 1 year and I'm going to do more production than him in residential sales.
Did you tell
So
him that to his
fast
face?
forward, I did. I did. And we became really good friends after that.
Yeah,
He
he was
thought
trying
I
to
was the
keep an eye
best.
on you, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so fast forward, it took a year and a half, but I did supersede his production. And so
Fantastic.
then I wanted to be on the ALC. And so they said, well, part of being on the ALC, you got to go to Bold. And I was like, what do I
Oh, I
need
don't
that
hate that.
for?
I love that.
I was
I
like,
don't know if we do that. I love that. The
what do I need that for? I'm the number one agent.
note to
And
self.
so ego said, you're the number one agent, you don't need Bold. So I went kicking
Ooh.
and screaming, and I didn't do anything the coach told me to do. And I was like, I don't know if this works or not. And so fast forward, they kept telling me, you gotta do Bold if you want to stay on the ALC. So I had to keep taking Bold. So fast forward 6 bolts in, I started
You're like,
yeah, six
maybe I'll
bolts.
start doing the things.
Yeah, now it wasn't 6 years. It was
Okay.
6 bowls in because I was
Okay.
taking it twice a year.
Okay.
And so, yeah, and so I said, you know what? I think it's starting to work, but I'm not quite sure. So on bowl 7 is when I decided to submit to the process.
There it is.
And it my world changed. My world changed. So we did this activity in bowl. It was a future self exercise. You had to write a letter
Yes.
to future self.
Yes.
And doing that, I just started bawling. I was like crying profusely. And my future self was telling me all these things. Some I agree with, some I didn't. And so one of those things was, you're going to be a bold coach. And in my mindset, that's 5 years down the line because I kept saying, I am tired of all these older men coming to teach bold. We need
Mm,
some young woman flair. So I'm gonna be the first female bold coach, but maybe 5 years from now.
mm.
So I went back and I told my MAPS coach, and She went and made a phone call to John Prescott, who was
Love it.
Diana's right hand at the
Yep.
time,
Yep.
and told him about me. I got a phone call within a week saying, "We want you to come and audition in Austin." And I'm like, "What?" And you don't tell them no, you just
Yeah.
go and you're
And
shaking in your boots.
I've heard stories. I've heard stories of the process, and I know it's just, I can't even imagine the pressure you must have felt.
Yeah, so within 3 months after that conversation, I was a certified bowl coach, and I knew what it
Were
did for
you the
my
first
business
female?
because I was not. They had a bunch
Okay.
of females. I
Okay.
had just
I was gonna
never
say, I
met
was like,
them.
wait a minute. There's no way. Because
I
I
had just
can't, because
never met
at that
them.
point, of course, historically, it is Diana's baby. I cannot imagine that there were no females before you, but you can be,
Stop.
you're allowed to be the best female. We're going to give you that.
That was my mindset because we kept having older gentlemen, and I was like, "We need some youth, some younger people
Yep.
to be able to come in and spread some love." And so,
Yep.
anyway, I was not the first, and yet I had a blast going through auditions. I became a bowl coach, and I knew because not only was I the number one agent, my business tripled when I submitted to the process.
I love
And
that you
so I
brought that up and you're saying submitted, because you were talking about, you used the language of, it wasn't working, and you and I both know it was working. You just weren't leaning into it. Right. So
I
what
did
was
nothing.
so what was the systemic change in your business? Like, what can you point to the moment you implemented the first thing from Bold and how that sort of became the first domino for you?
Yes, so I've always been good with talking to people. So they call it the gift of gab. If you just go
Yes.
talk to people, you'll be
I'm a Talkosaurus
successful.
Rex as well. Yes. Yes. Amen, sister.
So I had been successful just by winging it, just the gift
Yep.
of gab.
Yep.
And I never would submit to, back then we called them scripts. We don't call them scripts anymore. And I never would do
Conversation
them,
blueprints or
the
dialogues. Yes.
conversation blueprints. And so
Yes.
I said, they don't sound like me. And then I
Mm.
never forget, my coach, David Jones, said, they don't sound like you because you don't know them.
Yes.
So I put Diana's, back then we had CDs. I put Diana's CD in.
I put in Diana's Betamax and I watched it.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
And so
Laserdisc.
I would
Sorry.
listen to it over and over and over. Even when I slept, I would listen to them. And I mastered those scripts back then.
Yeah.
And I started using them. And when I tell you, I was nailing appointments left and right just from learning what to say. And that's what Phil Jones says. You have to know
Yeah.
what to say, when to say, and how to say it.
Yeah. Perfect. I love that you brought
Mhm.
that up. Because obviously, as coaches, we hear all the time, I don't want, I mean, the number one answer on the board, if Steve Harvey was here, but he's not, he's in hair and makeup. The number one answer on the board always is, I don't want to be salesy with my people. I don't want
That's
to call
right.
my friends and sound salesy. And I'm like, well, we don't want you to sound salesy either. And I always use analogies to help people see things differently. I'm like,
Mhm.
if you logistically think about how they make a movie, where does it start? It starts at a big table with a bunch of people who have never read the words before, reading the script for the first time.
Mhm. That's right.
But then they take
That's right.
ownership and they they internalize it and exercise it, and suddenly it's emotionalized. And until
They
we can
lean
do
into
that,
that
yeah,
character and
yeah,
they
and
know exactly what to say.
and I trust at this point, because I know it's the case for me. Like, I'll have an agent, we'll be in a one-on-one, or I'll be in a mastermind with a group of agents, and I'll get somebody to call me back or text me and be like, "Hey, Timmy, today you said blah blah blah. Where did you find that?" And I'm like, well, some of that is 1978 Gary Keller. Some of that is Zig Ziglar. Some of that is Phil M. Jones, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you start to Frankenstein, and you make your language of real estate. Everybody creates their own lore over time, and you never
Mhm.
will until you start, right?
That's right.
So
And it's the meat and the potatoes. If you know the meat and the potatoes, then you can make it your own. And I always tell people this, every last one of us, if we don't know, we should know what objections a buyer and a seller are going to give us.
yeah,
It's the same ones over and
yes,
over. If you master the objections, you can already know what they're going to say before they say it. So then guess what? You can practice your conversation framework
yeah,
around those objections, and you would never get denied a
yeah. If
listing or a buyer.
I've always said that to me, and I'll die on this hill. I think the benefit of us understanding the roadmap and the blueprint of these conversations, to your point, is when you know there's 5 to 7 objections that every transaction is going to have. Really what changes are the people and the property and the emotions around the people and the property. And if I know what you're about to say, I don't have to worry about my response. I don't have to worry about being combative, and I can listen at a higher level. So then in 2 weeks, when we're in said property, I'm not being an adult and walking in and saying, "Hey, over here, there's a fridge, there's an oven, this is the kitchen." I'm not talking about features. I'm talking about benefits. I'm saying, "Hey, I
That's
remember
correct.
you mentioned your octogenarian aunt wants to cook, but she can't fill the pot, then carry it to the stove. So there's a spout over the stove." And they're like, "How did you
Mm-hmm.
remember that?" I remembered because I was listening, because I wasn't worried about what I was going to say next. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that unlocks so much potential for so many people. You're going to join us. We get started the 17th, the Tuesday before family.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason somebody who has been to Bold, and we've got offenders like yourself, we do have one young lady in our market center. She is heading to her 26th Bold. And she's one of our top
Wow.
agents. And I think a lot of people are just like, is she stupid? Does she just not get it? No, she keeps layering coaching. She right
Mm-hmm.
now, she will have conversations with me because we still have a relationship. She has her MAPS coach, and she's probably going to sign up so you can yell at her too, because she knows it's layers of accountability. And that's
Yeah.
really what's going to push her to the next level. So if you can sum it up for the kid has no idea what Bold is because they just landed. And the veteran who's been before, but maybe hasn't done Onward Bold and certainly hasn't done Bold with you. Why should they be in the room for that first step?
Well, to sum it up, if you are tired of being in the same situation that you are and your growth is stunt and you're saying, you know what, there is more out there and more potential in me, I need to be in this room. I need to admit that I don't know all the answers. I
Mm,
need to admit that I need a reset. It's like you got to go get an oil change in your car. You can't just drive it forever, right? So you got to go get fresh oil. So you got to
we're
restart
gonna
your
we're gonna ask you
engines.
to say oil multiple times because it's a different word down
Yes.
where you live.
So you have to do that restart
Yeah.
and say, you know what, I'm a different place than I was 6 months ago. I'm a different
Mm,
person that I was 2 weeks ago. So because I am different, then I need to hear something different and be something different. Because even though the text might be the exact same of what you heard in Onward last time, the delivery is different and you're listening more because we zone in and out. I might be thinking about my grocery list and what I have to do and forget completely what the instructor said. Yet now I'm more dialed in and more tuned in.
yeah.
Now, for those that's never taken Bold, Bold is a 6 weeks coaching, transformation, and training program that's going to help you excel in business. We're going to teach you exactly what to say, when to say, and how to say it so that you can nail more listing and buyer appointments. We're going to teach you the fundamental truths Gary called the bold truths of
Mm,
how you should live your life personally and professionally. Remember, everything is about mindset. We know what to do, we just don't do it.
yeah.
I get in my car to drive anywhere, and they tell you what, don't text and drive. And what do most people do? Text and drive, talk on the phone and drive. So you know what to do, you just don't do it.
Yeah.
So we're going to hold you accountable by teaching you number one, your business comes first. We grew up following a schedule. And then when we became entrepreneurs, we said, hey, I don't have to listen to anybody anymore. I can come and go as I please, wake up when I please, do real estate when I please. So we're going to teach you actually how to reprogram yourself to get back in the habit of doing the things that matter most. And we're going to also teach you how to time block and honor those time blocks. Those are the fundamental things. We're going to be teaching you objections, and we're going to do it together. Top producers, guess what? We all hit a ceiling of achievement. We
Mm,
all get stuck. The market is not friendly to anybody at any given time. Yet we have to go out there and be friendly to the market. And we have to go out there and meet new people, and we have to re-engage the people that we have. So we're going to be 100% database driven and social media driven. So AI is in there,
mm,
all the old for sale by owners and expired, all that stuff is out. This is all about the conversations that we're having today socially and with our database. So you don't have to worry about doing the things you hate to do. We're going to do the things that you love to do and master them.
I love that. What is fascinating is, to your point earlier, everyone knows exactly what they need to do. And that's why they'll even hear our conversation today and be like, okay, I think I got what I need. It's the benefit. And I'll say this to people. I had an agent say this the other day. They're like, you know, what's funny? I see the same people at family reunion and mega camp. And I'm like, yep. And they're thriving and they know the power of that room. And that's why they go back. You're going to be in a room. We always say you're the average of the five people you spend the most time with. You're going to be in a room. And, you know, if you're the smartest person at the table, change tables. That's going to be a room here in our market center full of smart tables and an opportunity to be surrounded by people that might be at different production levels or different places in their personal life, but they're all looking to grow. Our business grows to the extent that we do. And if you've never stepped into First Step, the material has changed so drastically, and you're a breath of fresh air. I'm going to go back to, you mentioned about the bold coaches used to, it was invariably somebody with a Southern drawl, and they might have my bland complexion, right? You usually had, like you said, older guys with gray hair. And if I'm being truthful, we had a run with a certain coach that came to us a handful of times in a row, and we weren't getting a fresh breath of fresh air. We weren't getting a reset, and it soured the market center for a little bit. So we're so excited to have you, and you know, you've never been. We love Hudson. If he's listening, I'm sure Gary's listening, and I'm sure we'll have Hudson again because he's right down in Florida. We were very excited to know that we had a brand new face coming because I think that makes a difference. And as much as I've said this to any agent who will listen to me, the question is always like, who's the coach? And I understand it's important to them. I'm like, well, the cool thing is you can meet her because we're having this conversation, and then we'll have you on again for sure before you get here in person. But I've always said, like, listen, it's Gary's recipe. Eat the food, ignore the chef. Like, if the chef is that daunting to you, it's still good material. The blessing is you're fantastic. So we're really thrilled that you're coming up to play with us. We're gonna have a really good time. We're gonna make you say oil a few more times because you guys, like, there's an R in there for some reason. Like, we see in Boston, we extract the R, but you're like oral. Or there was an R in there. It was like OIRL.
Now you have to hear my fiance say it. I talk about him when he say oil all the time. I'm like, what are you even saying?
What does he do that he tolerates all your energy? He must be like, it's got to be yin and yang, right? Like, is he super deadpan?
He is so
He's like a nuclear physicist or something. What does he do?
He's in the film industry.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So he doesn't, he's not an actor.
Where's my headshot? I just want to play an old extra. Can I be an old extra? I just want to be an actor. No, I know. But if he's in the film industry, he can get me an extra. Yes. Like he can sneak me onto a set, can't he?
No, he drives the heavy equipment that they need for the movies.
Well, I still adore him for that. Yes. Awesome.
Now, one little secret you don't know I haven't said is before I became a Texans fan, I was a cheesehead.
Oh my Lord.
I have a cheesehead hat.
Do you? Well, and you know what? You get to put it back in the saran wrap and put it in the closet because they're not busy either. They're not busy either. Yeah, you're not doing very well. Not doing. How did you end up a Green Bay fan?
Because back when, I don't know if you remember, we used to have the Houston Oilers, and then we didn't have a football team.
They became the Nashville Oilers for 10 minutes, and then they became the Titans. Yes.
Team. In my family, half of them were Saints fans, and the other half were Cowboys fans. And I'm like, I'm not doing
Cowboys.
And so I used to have this crush back in the day on Brett Favre.
Really? Careful. He sends out a lot of photography. He sends out a lot of pictures. Be careful.
Yes. And so I was like, I used to like to watch Brett Favre. And so I said, okay, I'm going to be a Green Bay Packer fan.
Interesting. Well, he's from Mississippi originally.
Yes.
Yeah, he's right down there in the mix too. Brett Favre. Really? That's
how old I am.
Well, no, I wasn't. Listen, sister, look at it's like a snowstorm up here. I'm not talking about age. I'm just, I didn't. Brett Favre. He looks like a thumb. He does. Like he does. I mean, I look like a thumb. So if we're being honest, but oh my goodness. All right. So we're going to get started on the 17th. We're taking a 2-week break. Our agents will graduate on Tuesday, April 7th. Our agents need to also understand between April 7th, help me with the math, May, June, July, August, September, October, and October 7th, we give you 6 months to close your 4 deals that reimburse you. Here at our market center, we reimburse our agents for an annual bold. You can take bold 13 times a year if you choose. We're going to pay you back for one of them because we know the power of bold. So when you sign up for full bold, so you get to spend time with our great coach, you are going to do that by going to the link. It's floating everywhere. It's been in your email. We're going to throw it here in the liner notes. I did that for your film fiance. We're going to put that in the liner notes, and you'll be able to click on that link and sign up. Then you're in the room and you're all set. And then we get started on the 17th before we head for family reunion. When you graduate, you go into opportunities, which is in Command Kids. And in your opportunities, you put in the notes that it's bold, transaction 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we pay you back $200, $200, $200, and $199. What you need to realize is the average agent, and nobody listening to the sound of our voice are average, but the average agent in North America is currently doing 11 deals during the 6 weeks. Is that still the number?
Yes.
And our average GCI at our market center is about $11,000. So
nice.
Your first deal is going to pay you back in spades. Above and beyond that, it's also going to guarantee that you're a capper. This is the important part, though. You can show up for class. And you can be in the room physically and be present and not be present. I remember in the original bold way back in the day, it was open your hand, right? You can't walk in with a fist. You have to open your hand to receive. So you join the class and they have to do what you didn't do. They have to actually lean in.
They have to lean in.
But I appreciate the transparency that you went to bold for 3 years. You did 6 sessions over 3 years and you fought it until you didn't. And now you're a coach.
And I paid $7.99 every time I took it.
Did your market center reimburse you?
On ALC.
Did your market center didn't reimburse you, did they?
No, they did not.
Interesting. All right. Well, we're thrilled to have you. We are going to have you on again to chat again for sure. It was great first meeting you. We'll have you coming up our all partners meeting this month. We're going to have your face on screen so you can talk to us again. We're going to make you say oil a few more times for sure. And good luck to your Houston Texans. That's all I have to say.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Coach. We'll see you soon. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.